Hey everybody, Steve Burns back again. So now we're ready to bring in our video of the waterfalls. Let's go over the bridge and let's go find our video, which I believe is right about there. I've got the CR2 version, but I want the raw video to come on in there for right now. And I'm going to go and click and drag it and place it right into Photoshop right here in the bottom. Okay, there it is. Let's go find out, and it's bringing it on in, making it a smart object as well. Just be patient. Okay, so I want to decide where I want to put this. Now I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this around a little bit. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, bring it like this, pull it. Yeah, we're going to make it look as if the water's coming off one of these little hills up here. Okay. And I'm going to come over here, and how about if we go to a darken, or maybe lighten would be better, since actually the waterfall is what we're interested in. Okay, so we went to light and blend mode. We're going to place this probably up here in the cliffs. And this is actually going to fall behind the rock, okay? So we're not going to see this splash down here in the bottom, but I want to elongate it just to get that... get the water coming down the cliff, and I want to rotate it a little more to give it that feeling that it's actually flowing down with the rocks. Okay, and I'm gonna hit enter. Okay, so now we're gonna modify this a little bit. I'm gonna give it a little layer mask, and I'm going to fill that mask with black, or hit Command I just to change it. Hit the B key, and I'm going to go to that soft edge brush here. It's going to bring it back. I'm going to make sure I paint with white. Now I can hit the shift click on the mask to turn it off and on, kind of get an idea where things are. Okay, so don't make a big deal out of this. Just kind of paint it on in. So I want it to stop right there with the rock, because it's going to go behind this. So this is actually in the background, and we're not going to really see it past the rock. So I'm going to just paint it in, just gently paint it in. Now I'm going to go grab a little bit of this here. I'm going to give it the feelings of it's coming out of this area here. Now I'm going to go and give this a blend mode of normal. There. Okay. So now I have to edit this. So I missed a lot of these areas on the side. So I'm going to go to the mask and start taking it away. So a little bit of an edge. There we are. Gently taken away, and you'll be surprised how well this works. Okay, so hit the X key, and I'm gonna go to white just to bring in a little more of that waterfall. It's okay to go past this just for now. I'm just placing things where I want them. Okay. I need to give this actually do a color change. So how about if we come on over to image adjustment, let's go ahead and give it a curves. Okay. It's a smart object, so I can give it a curves. And the problem is that I have there's some color issues. It's not reading an individual file. It's reading multiple files. It sees it as a video file, so it's not really seeing the individual colors. I can do the tone. All right. So let me just back this out here, because what has happened is I was on the wrong layer, or the wrong image. So I was on the mask and not there. That's a common mistake. So if I made it, you guys will make it too. So let's go to our image adjustments. Let's go to curves. And if you remember before, when I was on the mask, just to bring it to your attention, you notice that going to image adjustments, a lot of these are grayed out. So that's one of your first keys to that maybe you're on the mask. So I'm going to go target the image adjustment, and I'm going to go to curves. And I'm going to go to the blue, and I'm going to pull out that blue. Okay, I'm going to pull it out as much as I can. Now it's starting to go a little bit greenish. Let's pull this down. I'm going to pull this down and see what I can achieve. I'm going to just do the best that I can. And here, pull that blue out, it starts to go more yellow. All right, and if I go over to the, or more greenish I should say, and I pull the green out, it's not doing exactly what I wanted to do. So this is what we're going to do. Color balancing is not going to be as effective as I like, so it's a really easy way to deal with these color issues. It's just desaturate it. So image, adjustment, and let's go over to our hue and saturation. We're applying it as a smart object. And just pull this on out. There we are. Okay. I might want to leave a little bit in there if you want. I mean, once this is all out, okay, then we can go in and add, for example, another adjustment layer like curves, and we can go ahead and color balance it. So if I go to, if I want to add yellow in there, I want to pull out the blue. See? You have that option to do so, or more yellow in the highlights. So you have that option to do so. All right, so I want to kind of give you that choice. Now, I want to restrict this waterfall behind this rock, so I'm going to go ahead and edit this mask a little bit better. Get in close. And I can go just beyond it, okay? So I can bring it back. So hit the X key. There we are. And I'm going to mold it to the shape of this rock. So the mask never allows it to go past this. And it's going to appear as if it's actually going behind the rock. The power of masking. Okay. Get in even closer so that you can really tighten this up. There. Okay. That works. So if light's coming from the left, that means we have a shadow being thrown behind that rock. Now I think what I would like to do is simply, I'm looking at this here. This is my top, waterfall layer. Right down here is my group. Okay, for that, let's put a layer in between those two. So make a brand new layer, give it a overlay blend mode. I'm going to come over here, right click, and go grab that square brush with the rotation on it. I'm going to make sure that that square brush does have pin pressure sensitivity, which it does, so I'm confident there. I'm going to bring it down in size. We're going to get up a little closer. Now I'm a little bit more heavier handed when I paint with Photoshop, so I'm going to go find, get my Wacom tablet properties, and I'm going to, the art pen is selected, and I'm going to bring this over one notch. Okay, so I want a little bit more subtlety to this. I'm going to go ahead and get that out of the way and get that out of the way. So I'm going to, now it's a paint with black on this layer using overlay. So what this does is works like burning and dodging. So I paint with black, things get darker. We paint with white, things will get lighter. So I'm going to just start tapping in there, and it's going to give it a feeling that there's a shadow behind here. And you can flow with the rock, right? Flow with the waterfall, flow with the rock. Pull this on back a little bit. There's going to be a little bit of darkness across here, especially at the bottom, because that's where the water is actually hitting, spilling off on the side of the rock just a little bit. Okay, that can work. And of course, you can create your platform however you want up here. You can put in other information. In fact, let's go ahead and just start darkening this right in here. Make it look like it's actually coming out of a cave or something. Or we can bring another little rock up here. I think that'll work. But it just kind of gives you an idea that how we can actually start compositing things, especially video, little creative ways to composite video with your water. Now, if I want to further color balance this waterfall, if it still looks a little bit too foreign, then go ahead and give another little layer right above it. Let's make it as a clipping path here. And we're going to change this layer to color blend mode, and we'll use a color to start to taint this. And I think what I'll do is I'll grab a orangish color that's already there. So if I alt click and tap on the color here, or maybe tap on something here, let's come up here and grab it there. And I'm going to just gently lay down. Here we go. Let's see what this does. And I'm actually on the wrong layer. Again, let's go target that, put that right above it. There we go. Okay. I want it to be restricted to that waterfall. So it's a clipping path. It'll only touch that waterfall. So just gently put it down. Bring it across. Okay, it's just going in that waterfall. And again, bring down the opacity of that layer. Okay. There we go. We can start to make it look like it's part of the lighting. And if I take it, I'll give it a little Gaussian blur just in case I have any human mistakes in there. This will kind of smooth it out a little bit. There we go. Smooths it out over the whole image. Bring it down slightly. Okay. Now I think I'm going to bring it down even more. There it goes. Just subtlety there. Bring it on in. And pull it back. Okay. Now, what's nice about this layer here is I can come in here, I'll hit the D key for black. I can come in here and edit these clips if I want to change the look and feel of this. You know, as I'm on the wrong layer again. I want to make sure I'm on this layer. There we go. All right, and just gently start to change things up a little bit. Okay. Just gently start to paint in, start to give it a little different contour. I want to start giving this side over here. In fact, let's go ahead and pull that back. So I went a little bit too far. And I could, and I won't. I'm going to go ahead and freehand this. All right, we're going to kind of create the little shading coming over here to the side, recreating this cliff here. Okay. So I'm looking like my opacity is a little bit too strong. So I'm bringing, even with my walking pen, I have to sometimes bring things down. So start to tap into there like so. Bring this rock a little darker. And it's giving some dimension. It makes it, making it look like now that we have a face to this cliff here. There we go. Bring this down to the base. As we get down to the base, it gets a little bit darker in here. So use your imagination. Don't be afraid to play around with this. Okay. Just tap and release. Changing the face of the rock. Bring it on up here to the top here. Give it a different feel. Maybe bring this on down. Okay. There we go. Pull this down a little bit more. And this little shading in here be a little darker. Gets a little contrast for the water there as well. Now, okay, so now we're just using our imagination. And if I want to come back, now this is overlaying. I believe that's overlaying everything, right? So if I feel like I want to bring the shadow over a little bit more, again, I can kind of, you know, darken this in here, give it a feeling that the shadow's going to spill over. Now, when it comes to shadows, what you really want to do is create a layer that's going to give you the solid black with a blend mode of multiply. What the overlay does is it allows you to kind of paint in things where you want it, where you want to see darker. And if we need to get the real shadow effect, then we go ahead and give this a multiply blend mode and paint with black. And that way we can actually tap in a definitive shadow coming across all the way there. Okay. So we're changing our lighting, adding some depth to our work. If I want a little more shadow coming in here, say for example, I want to just darken this up in here, give this a little darker because I wanted to make it a more directional shadow type of example, and then bring this down right across. So don't be afraid to add some of these little painting techniques in there. All right, so this is just a little example of what can be done with compositing and video, and your job is to actually use a minimum of 2 videos in here, and that has motion information, and everything's got to work together. Okay, I'm going to do one last thing. I'm going to go back here and and give that a curves adjustment to deepen down that sky there. So I'm going to go to my highlights, pull them down just a little bit. There we are. And pull it down from the midtones. Yeah, give it a little separation. Okay, now if you really want to give a little more interest to it, you can add a little more foliage in here.